Lakers' 127-113 win over the Cavaliers last night. Doncic finished with 42 points, 12 dimes, marking his third straight game in which he scored 40 or more points. Doncic finished the month of March averaging a ridiculous 37.5 points, 8 rebounds, and almost 7.5 assists per game. The Lakers have officially clinched a playoff berth in the Pacific Division title with Phoenix's loss. They reached 50 wins on the season, matching their total from last season. It's the first time they've had consecutive 50-win seasons since 2007 to 2011. And so now we look ahead to what potentially could happen next year. Would it be a mistake now for LeBron to leave after the Lakers' success and what they've had so far this season, Stephen A?
One could argue that it would because of the way the Lakers are looking. And obviously you announcing that next year will be your last and being in a Lakers uniform, the most storied basketball franchise in basketball annals outside of the Boston Celtics, and one would say even with the Boston Celtics, to be a Laker and to receive your shine and your flowers as you depart, going from city to city, it doesn't get much better than that. One could easily argue. I'm of the mindset, however, that he has an opportunity to go out as a champion. Because if LeBron James decided to leave L.A., and go back to Cleveland, and you're still there, and James Harden and Donovan Mitchell and Mobley and Allen are still there, the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James could win the championship, and that would be his swan song. So for me personally, I don't rule out that possibility, and certainly as a franchise and certainly as a city and as an area, they would welcome him back with open arms because no matter how much they cheer him in L.A., he's not nearly as beloved in L.A. as he is in Cleveland. You know, what Kobe is, what Magic is, those guys, what they are in L.A., that's who LeBron is in Cleveland. So it's all a matter of whatever choice he wants to make. I don't know what he's going to do, but I do know that if he goes to Cleveland with the personnel that they have in place, they could win the championship next year at age 42 in his 24th season in the NBA.
Well, Steve picked the right spot. If you're going to tell me he's going to play with Curry, I'd say, he's bounced around enough teams. You have to have some sort of legacy with the team. But Cleveland, since he played there, won a championship there, the only championship they've won since 1964, from Akron, I can live with it. And Steve's 100% right on the other thing he said. You know, West, Magic, Kareem, Kobe, they're all bigger, even Riley, are all bigger in a lexicon of Lakers than LeBron is. So from that standpoint, it's not like he's leaving a place where he was there for 30 years. All four of those guys, and I even can throw Elgin Baylor in if you wanted me to, and I won't, but all four of those guys are bigger historically for the Lakers in that city than LeBron. So if he left to go anywhere else but Cleveland, I'd say, what? I mean, what, are you going to play for the Timberwolves? I mean, you're a Laker or a Cav. So either one of those teams, I'm okay with. Somewhere else, I would not be. Steve?
Well, you could say the Miami Heat too. I think he did deliver 2 championships there and go and take them to 4 straight NBA Finals. But we all know it should be LA or Cleveland first. Number one. Number two, one of the things that we can't rule out, J.J. Redick has proven to be an exceptional coach. His coaching staff is doing an exceptional job. It's just that San Antonio with Victor Wembanyama, this freak of nature, along with OKC, essentially is standing in your way. And that's really, really problematic for you. But the way the Los Angeles Lakers are looking, you also have to analyze what tweaks they can make to their squad for a next season in the event that LeBron was interested in returning. And we can't ignore this possibility as well. You hear about, Bronny, obviously he's on the Los Angeles Lakers. You got Bryce. You don't know what's going to happen with him, what LeBron would want to happen with him as well, and who would be receptive to that, whether it would be the Lakers or the Cleveland Cavaliers. All these things are things that folks have talked about, albeit quietly, in NBA circles. So you just don't know what's going to happen. But in my estimation, it would be one thing if LeBron had no chance at a title. In L.A., although the chances are slim, it's still possible with Luka and Austin Reeves playing the way that they're playing, particularly if they continue to elevate. But there is no doubt in my mind that if LeBron James went back to Cleveland and you still have Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, James Harden on the squad, that the Cleveland Cavaliers would be the favorites to represent the East in the NBA Finals the moment LeBron returned, even at age 42. So if that is ultimately what matters, it really comes down to your quality of life in Southern California, or you want a championship on your way out, which would give you 5, which would tie Kobe, it would tie Tim Duncan, still be one short of MJ, but a title is a title, and you can't ignore 5 championships. If he had a chance to get a 5th, what would matter to him more? I think it would come down to that more so than anything else.
What a storybook ending that would be. LeBron, they finally found their groove in L.A. They have a decent playoff run this year. Then he goes to Cleveland and wins a championship, says goodbye on his way out. My goodness, that would be amazing. Let's go to the college ranks now. An unbelievable cap to a historic comeback for the UConn Huskies as they pulled off the improbable win against Duke to advance to the Final Four. But leave it to Mad Dog to throw a little water on the moment.
I'm going to get mad at my son, Colin, who put, he's a huge UConn fan. He loves UConn. He put it out on his little, when he's got 6 people. Well, I shouldn't complain. I got 7. But he put it out on his little internet with the last play. The best UConn win in the history of the program and one of the best moments in the history of the NCAA tournament. Colin's got to calm down. Gotta calm. That's a little strong, Carl. To be fair, that is. As I texted him, Colin, take it easy.
All right, Mad Dog, Mullins game winner on this list. Give me your men's tournament game winners, top 5. Let's go.
It sounds like you're going to be annoyed already before I even give you the list. All right, here is number 5. Right on the dot. I'll explain the theories in a second. Number 5, without a doubt, it's Christian Laettner. All right, 103-101, one of the great games in the history of college basketball. Krzyzewski and Pitino. Duke went on to win a national championship. The great pass by Grant Hill. No question about it. That is number 5. Number 4 on our list, and I don't know how you can argue with this, is Jordan's jumper at down 62-61 against Georgetown in the Superdome. You got to remember the sequence here. Dean Smith had never won a championship. He's got James Worthy on his team, and Jordan had the guts to knock down a 18-foot jump shot with 14 seconds to go to win a title in a championship game, in one of the all-time great games of all. No question about it. That is number 4. Number 3 from our list scenario, this is the Chris Smart jumper for Indiana when they beat Syracuse.
Keith.
Also,
Keith Smart.
Keith Smart. What did I say?
Chris
Smart. Keith Smart. Keith Smart. I got you. Keith Smart. 74-73, they beat Syracuse. They were down by 1. He made that jumper in the corner. That is an incredible big-time shot for Bobby Knight in the year of Hoosiers. That is number 3. Number 2, without a doubt, is the great play by Jay Wright and the wonderful shot by Chris Jenkins against North Carolina. Down the court they went, tie ball game. Here is the great pass, and Jenkins knocks down the jumper to win the championship. That is number 2. No question about that. That's a tremendous play. And number 1 is Lorenzo Charles. All right, nothing is going to top Lorenzo Charles. He of NC State when they beat Houston, an incredible upset. Jimmy Valvano, the Wittenberg air ball. Remember, that was a Houston team that had Elijah Wan and Clyde Drexler. Okay, that's how good that Houston team was. Now, couple things. Okay, Duke won the title. Championship game. This is a Elite 8 game. It's a big difference.
All right, y'all. America, that garbage list. I'm going to tell you why. Number 1, Charles was a putback. Wittenberg was the shot, and it was an air ball. That don't count. A putback does not count. That is nonsense. Okay?
Number 1.
Now, if Wittenberg had hit the shot, that would be different. No, it was an air ball that Charles caught, and it put it back because Olajuwon and those boys were getting set for the rebound, and they didn't realize it was going to be an air ball, but it was an air ball, and Lorenzo Charles put it back. That's what happened. A putback doesn't count. Get that off the list. That doesn't even belong in the top 5. That's number 1. Chris Jenkins should be number 1.
Agree.
That clearly should be number 1. I've got no problems with Keith Smart. That was a big-time shot, but I'd put Jordan ahead of him because of what you said. Chris Jenkins, that was a big time. I was at that game, Doggy. That was a big-time shot right there. That was something special. No doubt about it. My heart broke for North Carolina and Roy Williams and those boys. But I would put Jenkins at number 1. I'd put Jordan at number 2. Because he was a freshman, he wasn't even the starter team. Dean Smith had never won a national championship, and it was against Georgetown. But, Doggy, you would remember the bigger moment in that game. That was with 14 seconds left, true, but it was when Fred Brown gave away the ball to Worthy. You understand, by mistake and stuff like that. Actually, it might not have been that game. I'm trying to remember. I got brain fog.
Same game.
That's right. Exactly, right? Now, this kid Mullins, Doggy, that's got to go up there. You want to get rid of Charles, move up Jenkins, take Jordan at 4, put him at 2, Keith Smart at 3 against Syracuse, okay? But, Doggy, you lied to the public. That Christian Laettner UK game, that was an Elite 8 game. That was not for the national title.
Yeah, but they won the championship. But they won the championship.
I know that. Time out. We don't know what's going to happen with UConn. That was an Elite 8 game. Mullins made his shot from the logo with 0.4 seconds left in an Elite 8 game. I think that was even better than Laettner. I'd leave Laettner at 5. I'd put Mullins at 4. I'd have Keith Smart at 3. I'd put Jordan at 2 and Chris Jenkins at 1. That's the list. Get Lorenzo Charles off that list. That is a putback off of an air ball. How you even have that is showing your age, how archaic you are, your nostalgia, and all of that stuff. You just caught up in the moment because it's a big deal because you were younger back then, had more of your hair, didn't have a stomach back then, and you get caught up in the moment. That's all that's about. That has no business on that list at all. Get it off.
Okay. So we're taking that away. We're moving up Jenkins. We're going to move everyone down, and we're going to put Mullins, I'm going to say, at 3. Because it was a remarkable
I said Jordan
moment.
at 2, Shay. Shay, Jordan at 2.
When he made that shot to beat UCLA. Where do I do that list?
Shay,
How about that one?
Shay,
what?
Jordan at 2. Jordan is at 2. Keith Smart is at 3. Mullins is at 4. Layton is at 5. That's
was an
the list.
uncontested
Now, what did you
3.
just say, George?
There's no one in his face.
Doggy, what shot did you just say?
Shot, but it wasn't like
You weren't even born yet. What do you know?
Who cares? I know everything about Michael Jordan. All right, coming up. Aaron Glenn has got a lot of confidence in Geno Smith. I mean, a lot. We react to the Jets head coach